What do we have here? Welcome, everyone. Cock-a-doodle don't. Got a big old cement mixer. This thing's pretty old looking. Chickens are noisy. Roosters are noisy. They're everywhere. Yeah. So what we're working on here today is this ancient cement mixer. We're trying to get it cleaned up so we can figure out how old this thing is. This cement mixer is like really, really old looking. So we're trying to get it cleaned up so we can protect it so it doesn't rust anymore, make it look good, and also be able to use it. Yeah, welcome. Thanks for joining. We're working on a cement mixer here today. I have no idea how old this thing is, but it looks really old. So I've been working on it for 2 days now, or 2 evenings. Today, I'm going to take the wire brush to it, try and clean it up a little more. We want to get this thing ready to paint. Welcome, thanks for joining. We got roosters, noisy roosters, making all kinds of noise. But what we're working on is this old cement mixer. It's ancient. I don't know how old. Hopefully we'll find out how old. We probably never will find out how old. There's a nameplate on it, a brass tag. I took the angle grinder with the wire brush on it yesterday. And hi guys, thanks for joining. Astros, Ms. Naldo. Yeah, you can ask a question. What kind of question you got? So yeah, yesterday, that used to be all green. We couldn't see any of the brass color on that name tag. So we are starting to be able to read it. Hi guys, thanks for joining. Kay Lane, hi. Astros, just eating pizza rolls. Awesome, pizza rolls are good. I just got done eating burgers. Had some burgers inside, and now I came outside in a somewhat cool and cloudy day. And I'm going to work on this cement mixer for a little bit. All right, I'm such a bad investment XD. Hi, thanks for joining. Good. So, Astros, B, 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 B. I don't know what that means. Burgers. Burgers. I had burgers. Yeah, they were good burgers. They were okay burgers. They were leftovers. They weren't fresh from tonight. All right, you just like 10 times and subbed. Awesome, Kaylane. Okay, we got this super old cement mixer. I bought it. Let me tell you a story. Why did you invest in me? Oh, so it says bad investment. Yeah, well, this was a good investment. Let me tell you a story about this thing. I was on my roof like 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago, I think, 3 nights ago, painting. I had to climb on the roof to paint because I got wood siding, and you need to paint every once in a while because otherwise the paint peels and then the wood rots. So I was up on the roof and there was an auction going on. And I said, hold on, I need to stop painting, look at this auction because there's a cement mixer in the auction and we wanted a bigger cement mixer. We look alike. All right, Ms. Naldo, we look alike. Yeah. So, I don't know why it is. Maybe we're the same. So up on the roof, painting, I put the paintbrush down, looked at the auction 7 minutes before it closed. I put a bid in on this thing, and nobody bid against me after that. I guess they didn't want it. So I got it. I picked it up the very next day, brought it home. I was questioning if it would be good to go on the highway. I drove it down the highway and got it home. You look like my display picture. I'm not sure if you blew my back out. I see you. You love my videos. Good, good. Most people don't. Some people do. Thank you for liking them. How much was it? That's the big secret. I'll tell you in just a little bit here. So we can't give away the secret too soon. Does it pucker or does it grip? It stirs. It stirs. It stirs concrete. Why do you smile like you just killed a person? I think I'm smiling because I'm happy about my cement mixer. There, that's a good. Highways are awesome. When you drive fast, you roll down the window, feels like you feel air. It's so cool. Yeah, yeah. Um, I was a little worried pulling this thing out of there. Well, even going there, I'm like, do I bring the big trailer so we can just put it on the trailer and drive it home? That's a lot of extra work, and pulling a trailer onto a trailer is not easy because there's no front wheels. So I said, I'm just going to risk it, and I'm going to bring the truck with no trailer. I'm hoping to connect right to it. Show you. There we are. It's got a tongue on there. It's got a proper hitch, but you have no idea if it's going to break and fall apart on the road. Yeah. Unlike me, we don't look alike. But like watching your videos, Nick, I'm from Kenya. Oh, awesome. Kisis Kaburio. Probably saying that wrong, but thank you for watching from Kenya. So you can dump the bodies. You're the Bay Harbor Butcher. I don't think that's me you're talking about there. Ms. Naldo. Yeah. So, gonna go to sleep. Please look at my display picture. It'll be very good for my specific. Yeah, you're from New York. Okay. So, yeah, I hooked it up, and I'm glad I brought the adjustable receiver hitch. I thought we were going to have to lower it down, but no, I actually had to raise up the hitch on the truck. So the truck here, this is what I pulled it with, and there it is. I had to raise it like that, which isn't raised much, but this thing was going to drag on the ground because of this front thing here. So got that attached, put the wheels in motion, and it pulled just fine for about a 40-minute drive from the auction to home. Let's see me do it. No, I know what you guys are talking about. Why do I look like Gabe from Unspeakable? I have no idea who Gabe is. I don't know what Unspeakable is either. Nice truck. Yeah. It's a 2008 F-150. We picked it up last fall. A little bit dirty right now because I've been grinding the paint off this thing, like right here, right next to it. I probably should have pulled the truck away. We're going to have to give it a wash. I look like Joe Biden before he got something about roids, you know. Want to see what? Yeah, you guys are crazy. So yeah, cement mixer. We got home because I wanted a cement mixer because we have a different one over there. See that one? There's the new one. There's the old one. New one. Old one. The old one's much smaller. And when you're trying to do a lot of concrete, making small batches is no fun because that's the limiting factor in how much you can do. If you're just making a little batch, it takes forever. So we wanted a bigger one, and we got a bigger one. All right, you're driving your car right after a bear. Hey, that burn dressed like a beer. That bum dressed like a beer. Truck. Wow, very good. There's something that says this message is held for review. I don't know what you typed, but yeah, you need spray. Yeah, spunk. All right. So our cool cement mixer, it's big, it's tough, it's thick, it's built heavy duty. I like it. And we didn't know if it'd work even. And it works. We plugged it in and it works. All right. Do you play games? If If you're talking like video games, I don't really have time to play video games anymore. I used to, but I'm so busy now. Past couple days, I've been cleaning this thing, getting it ready to paint. All right, who gave you that haircut, please? Guess who gave me my haircut? Me. That's why it looks so crazy, because I can't see what I'm doing, and it'll grow back in soon. Yeah, it's a little bit short. I don't really like that, but it'll grow back in. Hi, where do you work? If you do, I do work. I work at a day job, which sometimes is at nights. It's a cable company. Yeah, but that's not the fun stuff. The fun stuff is when I get back home and I get to work on my stuff. I look nervous. Right, let's show you this here. Let's show you. This is what we're here to see. This cement mixer. Look how big it is. This part right here. This part, look at that handle. It's like massive. Compared to this one, there's the handle for this one. You know, this one's no fun because when this thing's full of concrete, you got to hold that handle with all your might to keep it from spilling all over your shoes. That's no fun. It took kind of long. That looks old. Yes, this one looks super old. You know, I'm trying to figure out how old it is, and I can't find any name on it yet. There's no markings. There is a name tag on the other side of this that I'm trying to get it so we can read. Looking at pictures of this thing, I'm thinking it's anywhere from the 1920s to the late 1940s. That's my guess. It's like really old looking. I mean, that box in the back, just look at the style of that box. That's like old. I mean, we're talking, this thing might be 100 years old. It could be. I think it's somewhere from 75 to 100 years old. There's a few markings right here. 4E7, and that one says 4E8. I did try Google image search. I mean, I spent a couple hours trying to search this thing. There's similar ones, but because there's no definite name on here, what I did find was that up until about 1927, there was apparently a whole bunch of different manufacturers of cement mixers, concrete mixers. And I mean, like tons of them apparently. Weird. I didn't live back then, so I don't know. And apparently the Great Depression, like almost all of them went out of business. And after that, just big brands survived. All right, let's see. Knock, knock. Yeah, probably just stock ID. Yeah. So what's really cool about this is check out this handle. Hawaii. So does that mean you're from Hawaii? If so, that's cool. This handle, look at this. Just look how worn that is. Imagine how many people over possibly 100 years move that handle. So that locks it in place. Yeah. And you know how I was telling you about that one, how you had to hold the handle really tight and hope you don't drop the cement out of your shoes? This one, look at this. This is how you raise and lower it. And I'm sure there'll be a little bit of weight in it once it's full, but because of the big gear, that'll be a lot easier to do than holding this puny little handle. Let's show you that handle again here. that thing. There we are. On this one, you're holding the weight. When that's going down, you've got to stop it. Otherwise it's dropping. And there goes all your concrete you just mixed. Not only that, but when it's stirring, you've got to sit here holding it like this. And it's going. That one's got a lock. And it's much bigger. All right. It was a joke. UK lane. Or what? Oh. All right. So we got a cool, big, giant cement mixer. Listen to that compared to the old one, the little one. You can just hear the difference in the thickness of the metal. You want to hear a joke? I'm not sure. Is it a clean joke? All right, so got the big heavy duty, and I've ground down a lot of the paint. As you can see now, it's all over my hands. Here, I've ground down a lot of that. We've got rust on it, so we need to paint it so it doesn't keep rusting. Thanks for watching, guys. And it's mounted. Definitely the trailer it's on was not original. This was added later. Looking like it's a pipe attached to a drive shaft from some old vehicle or old trailer. Well, looks like it has like a rear differential, so some weird old vehicle. It's kind of skinny though. Maybe a car. Yeah. Okay. Let's go take a look over here. We'll look in the back door of the concrete mixer. This is where they house the engine. So back in the day, which back in the day, you can tell that day was a long time ago. Just look at that crate. And that's not wood, that's steel. That thing's all metal. It's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool box. I think they called them dog houses back then. They would have had an engine in here. Right now, it's just got a electric motor, which the motor itself is pretty cool. But it would have had like a hit and miss engine in there probably. And it would have been this gasoline, weird contraption engine that would run that concrete mixer. It's a clean joke. All right, let's open this up and show you what's inside. There we go. Open the doors, and we got a big, you want me to make a sandwich. Why is it lagging? Oh no, it's lagging. Hopefully not. I need to make sure my internet isn't on Wi-Fi. Nope, we're good. I'm just on cellular, so it's the best they can do. There we go. Look at the size of that electric motor. It's big. It's heavy too. That's a heavy motor. It's not attached. It's not secured right now. And yet, I just moved it so the belt would have tension, and it's heavy enough that that motor stays in place enough to rotate this concrete mixer. Let's plug this thing in. That sounds like excitement. So it's got this sketchy looking cord with a sketchy end. It is heavy. It's really heavy. I don't want to actually try and lift it right now because I've actually got it attached to the belt. And if I move it, then it might mess up how it was attached. Look at the end of this cord. Yeah, let's plug it in. That'll be fun. Some grain or fodder thing. Annie's big day. I think they do use these a lot for like grain augers and stuff like that. It's a big motor. It's a big electric motor, 1 horsepower. And what we got here is a concrete mixer. We're going to plug it in and watch this thing hopefully spin around. But before we do that, let's flip this thing around so you can see it once we turn it on. So I'm going to unlock it. There it comes. That's a big barrel there. All right, let's lock it in place. Right about there. Number 1 fan. All right. Let's see it work. Okay. Let's go back over here so you can see me plug it in. Those chickens. Hi guys, thanks for watching. All right, I got an extension cord ran out here. It would have been cool to have the original motor, the hit and miss engine that was in here, gasoline, but we went to got it for the price we got it for then. Well, maybe we would have. I'll tell you the price in a little bit. Kitty in the back. Oh, let's see here. You see a kitty, or are you just saying stuff? There probably is a kitty. We got, I don't even know how many cats around here. Lots of them. Okay, let's plug in this sketchy cord. Hi, Edna. Thanks for watching. We're about to plug in this giant electric motor, which is going to run this giant, ancient concrete mixer. And I'm trying not to lean against this because I got somewhat clean clothes on, and I've spent 2 days with the wire bristle on the angle grinder grinding this. So everything's, oh, you saw a cat, all right. Everything's dusty, so I don't want to get dust all over my clothes. All right, let's plug this in. Here goes. There it is. It's loud. For some reason, when it's leaning that way, it's not quite as loud. Makes you jump. It's a little scary once you're about to plug it in. Yeah, one of these, something here must, probably the gears here, must be a little worn. When it's leaning this way, it's really loud. This way, it's quiet. I have no idea how it's going to act once we actually try to do cement in here. We've not done that yet. I've only had it for 2.5 days, so we're trying to get this cleaned up, painted up, so it can hopefully last another who knows how many years. This thing is really old. Just look at the shape of this thing, how it looks. Let me get you in close there so you can see it. Let that thing wind down. That thing's really cool. How much? is it? Please tell me. I can't tell you how much it was in the days when it was made. Yep. Yep, I'll tell you in just a second here. Before I do that, though, I wanted to show you. Trying to get close without leaning against this door here. But if you can see, no, you can't. Check out the wheel. This wheel here. It's just so weird. That's what the belt grips onto. That is just so weird. All right. There we go. Okay, so looks like the 90s. I think it's much older. Much older. I'm thinking 1920s to 1940s. That's really old. All right, so right there, check that out. We exposed that yesterday. Still got more paint we got to take off. We can't fully read it. I'm hoping there's a date hiding under there. Probably not though. But yeah, price. You're wondering how much did I pay for this thing? Like an 80s movie. More like, yeah. Hold on. If it was just the, I had to grab my fancy napkins. If it was just the cement mixer, I would say, yeah, that thing doesn't look that old until you start looking really close and just weird little hints like that handle that I lifted. That's pretty weird looking. But once you start looking at this doghouse here, especially with this brass name plate and then these hinges and the fact that it's riveted here, everything's riveted, and the fact that the box is steel, all that points to really old. I don't think any newer than 1950s. I think that's the newest possibility here. I could be wrong because there's no date on here. I'm hoping there's a date hiding here, but I don't think so. It says Atlas Engineering Company, Milwaukee, shop number, and that's as much as I've explained so far. Runs on gasoline. It used to. At least I assume. I think they used to have a hit and miss motor in here, which is one of those weird engines that hits under power once and then does something weird. I don't have one, so I don't know. Or diesel. I don't think back then it would have been a diesel. I think it was because when looking up, trying to find it out, a lot of people talked about how these old concrete mixers came with hit and miss motors. They were gasoline. Okay, price. Yep, price. So I was on the roof, way up there. I was up on the roof painting, and this was in an auction. So I stopped and I said, I'm going to bid on it. They're noisy. And I said, I don't want to spend a ton of money because I don't know if it'll even work. They're noisy. All right, so they're not going to let me talk, are they? Let's get away from them. Let's get away from them. All right, we got to talk quieter so they don't hear. Okay, so I said I'm going to put a high bid of $41. So I put a high bid of $41, and what happens is it'll just go up to the minimum required at a time and then keep going after that if needed. So my first bid on there was $7. This was like 7 minutes before it closed. Go back to painting a little bit, check in a few minutes. Still nobody bid. All right, about 4 minutes left, check it. Still nobody else bid. Still looking, waiting. 20 seconds, 15 seconds. And this is when you start getting worried, because a lot of people at these auctions, they'll wait until 5 seconds before it closes, and then they'll bid, because they're hoping that you forget about it or think that you want it and walk away. And when they bid at the last 5 seconds, it usually extends another 2 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes. So here we are, 15 seconds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds. You won $13. Yeah, that was the bid, $13. I got it for $13. This giant cement mixer on a trailer with a working giant electrical motor in the back. That little one over there, I thought I got a good deal on that one at an auction for $25. Check out this one though, man. $13. With tax, it came to like $15.04. $15.04 for this. It's awesome. I mean, just the hitch end alone is worth that much. The jack is worth that much. The working trailer lights. It has working trailer lights. They're not all that fancy. The working trailer lights are worth more than that. That motor worth a lot more than that. And then of course the super heavy duty ancient cement mixer. Yeah. There's some more numbers on here. I've got to find them. There they are. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We're looking at our cool giant ancient cement mixer I got for $15.04 after tax. Right here. It says 3.5 3. 3.5 3. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you can see it. And it's going to be backwards for you guys because the camera's flipped. I can't figure that out. 3.5 3. Montgomery Ward. You have the same one found in the woods behind my neighbor's house. In 95, it would be $5. And with how much it'll be, $10 to $19. Yep. Nah. Montgomery Ward. Yeah, that's possible. There's no name on it. There's no name, so that's frustrating. I know a lot of the old ones would say like Jagger, Leach. Those are some that I looked up, but this one has no name. The 3.5, I think that stands for 3.5 cubic feet. The 3, I don't know. It might be something about the size of tube that this needs, the chute that this needs to connect to. But if you go to like Harbor Freight and look up concrete mixer, you'll see it says it's 3.5 cubic foot. But those don't look like this. No, you know what they do? They rate them differently. The new ones, they rate how much to fill it all the way to the top when it's upright like this. I'm just guessing here, so don't quote me, but this is what I read, is people are thinking that that's how much it'll take to completely fill it. Whereas these old ones, that's how much concrete it can actually mix. Because when you mix it, you need to have it at an angle. Because otherwise, if you're fully upright, nothing's going to mix. Hi, guys. Got a lot of people watching here. Thanks for watching. So really, you don't want the concrete to be this high. You want it to be like down here at least, because it's going to Spin and spin and spin. You're back. Thanks, Kaylane. So this mark right here is probably the 3.5 cubic foot mark. So compare that to the newer ones that say the 3.5 cubic foot, but that's when they're completely tipped up right, because those just look a lot smaller. They're not giant like this. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but I might be able to fit in there. I ain't doing that. Super heavy duty. I think a lot of parts on here are cast iron. They're not all rolled steel. I mean, a lot of this stuff is like super heavy duty, like this. That doesn't ding, that doesn't echo. Let me grab something to tap on it here. Got my chunk of wood here. All right. So when I tap on the barrel, it rings. The back end, you can tell that's thicker than this part. Yeah, that's thud. That's some thick metal there. And then this too. That's a heavy gear. I mean, look at the size of that gear. Heavy duty stuff. Heavy duty. They don't make them like this anymore. I'm sure they make nice heavy duty ones, but they cost a lot too. Then you look at this one. Oh yeah, check this out. Comparison. Look at the gears here, or the whatever you call them. The ridges as it goes around. Look how thick that is. Compared to this one, which I thought was a good cement mixer, concrete mixer before. Look at that. It's just little holes pushed out of this thin metal. Yeah. Can you show us around, please? Yeah, I can. Just a minute here. So there's the motor. There's the motor on this one. This little tiny motor that hides under there. Motor on this one you guys saw earlier. For some of you that just joined, I'll show you again. It's a big, beefy motor. Boom. 1 horsepower electric motor. Thing probably weighs 80 pounds. It's a heavy motor. And this is what I'm really interested in right here. Trying to figure out if we can, trying to get the camera set up on it. Got to get you so close. There we go. If there's a date hiding in here. Got some sandpaper. And I'll show you around in just a minute here. Whoops, you're shaking because the tripod was touching the tire. It's so tricky here. All right. So I don't want to sand so harsh that I wear off what's going to be written under there. Do you have any pets? We have lots of pets. Lots and lots of pets. Is this my property? Yeah. So back there, the ducks, the chickens, the geese, the roosters. There's the geese. Don't tell them we're here, otherwise they'll start getting noisy. Yeah, we're out on 20 acres here in the marsh, so it gets wet. Let me just show you what we just finished a couple days ago. There's the chicken coop. That's not what we just finished. Chicken coop, sheep shed. Back here, there it is. We built a hoop building, a hoop shed. Just got it put up a couple days ago. It's a 20 by 30 hoop building. And we'll come back to that cement mix in just a minute here. Got a nice engine lift there, engine hoist. Florida, Mississippi. This is Wisconsin, central Wisconsin. So yeah, you can see, tripping on a tire. You can see it's nice and like empty behind us there. Fields. There we are. There's our hoop shed. We built the hoop shed because we have these old cars. 1960 Ford Starliners, mosquitoes or flies. Yeah, Mr. Bill. Well, that's fine. You don't need to watch if you don't want, Mr. Bill. But K-Lane, he's been on for more than 45 seconds, so thank you, K-Lane. He wanted to see him, so that's why I'm showing him these. Yeah, there we are. Nice and quiet out here. But yeah, so we need a hoop building. Well, ideally we would have a nice garage, but we want to put one of those Starliners in this hoop building. Yeah, Bill. There we are. So 1960 Ford Starliners. That purple one. It's hard to tell it's purple. It's really faded. But that's the one that's going to go in this hoop building because we want to work on it undercover. We got an engine under that blue tarp there. It's a Ford FE engine. Came out of this green Starliner right there. We pulled that engine out about a month ago under the tarp, waiting to be put into the purple one because the purple one's in a little bit better shape. So that's the one we're trying to get fixed up first. I'm not a mechanic. No, I don't have a crew. It's just me and my kids working on these. My wife does the animals and stuff. When did I come out? Well, I ate supper. I ate some hamburgers. Then I came outside. Show me the inside of the purple one. Yeah, we can do that. Purple one's over here. And it does need some work. It needs a lot of work. But out of all these that are right here, the purple one's in the best shape. And it has a really nice transmission. It's got a Torino transmission. Stick shift. So yeah, needs welding and stuff. And I'm no mechanic. I've never worked on stuff like this before moving out here into the country. We inherited these cars from my father-in-law. He collected all these and had a few that were up and running. We've got one in the garage that is running and driving. But yeah, seats, they're not stock. They're from something a little newer, I think, but they look cool. Show the steering wheel. Yeah. So these are Starliners, named because in 1960, the space age was just starting. So everyone was, hi, Hamza. Everyone was really into space theme back then. All right. Yeah, thanks for joining and watching, guys. Here, let me take you off the tripod so you can move around a little easier. How am I, Hamza? Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you? Okay. And yeah, earlier, momped her Elec. I'm probably saying it wrong, but yeah, thanks for watching. Here we are. We're inside of it. There's the steering wheel. Everything back then was flashier, had more style to it than stuff nowadays. So yeah, needs work. You can see needs a lot of work. But the one we have in the garage, we totally gutted the interior. Took the seats out, took the carpet out. The floor was rotted like crazy in there. So we had to cut out a whole bunch of rust from the floor and patch in welds. So we'll have to do some of that with this one. It's going to take a lot of work, but it's pretty solid compared to some of the others over there in the field. Try and get out of here. That's why this one's the one that's going to go in the shed to get worked on first. This one's in better shape. What's the horsepower? Honestly, I have no idea. Just give them the tripod ready here again. That way you don't shake around as much. If I hold you, then you shake a lot. There. Now you're not shaking. You can see better. We don't even know what type of engine that is for sure. It's a Ford FE, but we don't know if it's a 352, 360, 390. It ain't a 427 or a 428. We know that because those are special engines, and it's not that. Listen to this door close here. Nice, and got that old car funk to it. Let me show you the engine we've got hiding under here. There's the engine that's going in it. There it is. Ford FE engine. As far as horsepower, I don't know. They're definitely not going to be as high horsepower as some more modern vehicles, but some of the more modern vehicles get their horsepower because they rev real high too. And these old big cast iron big blocks, they get it from the torque and the just the heaviness of it. I'm no engine person though, so if I'm saying something wrong, don't blame me. I'm no mechanic. I worked on cars before we suddenly had to work on them, not because it's an emergency, but because we're trying to save them. We're trying to save these cars. It's a V8. Yep, definitely a V8. Yeah. And it is free. We've made sure it's free. My son Tanner, check out his channel if you want to see more on these cars and the engine. He does most of the work while I'm at my day job. Tanner Rebuilds. That's his YouTube channel. Tanner Rebuilds. He's been working on these cars. He took the engine down to check the innards, put new head gaskets in, and built it back up to here. Right now we're waiting on getting the transmission out of the purple car because it'll be easier to mate the transmission to here outside the car instead of, because we don't have a lift. Where you see it, that's where we work on it. So jack it up and climb under there. It'd be a lot easier to do it while it's separate and then put the whole thing in. I think it doesn't sound easy, and it won't be easy. I've never done it before. Pulling that engine, that I better cover that. Pulling that engine, that's the first engine I've ever pulled. So we're just learning as we go because we're trying to save these cars, restore these cars. All right. The only reason I know that is because NFS heat and F85. Yeah. Cover this thing up. We don't want to get rained on. There. Got a nice aluminum bell housing, I think. This thing's light. The cast iron ones are super heavy. How many Starliners? Hold that tarp down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 Starliners. Is that noise? That's the geese. That's those white geese. They're noisy. 8 Starliners. We've got 5 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Six. That's Swamp Monster. Check out Swamp Monster here. This one. This one is pretty cool looking. Who loves those? My father-in-law, he's the one who collected all these. Look at that one. This one, we won't be restoring this one. This one's just for looks, probably. It's pretty cool. I can smell it, though. It's got a unique smell. Okay, so that was number 6. Yeah, that's a parts car. Here's the hoop shed we just built a couple days ago. There's number 7. Number 7 is totally a parts car. In fact, we call it the party car because it's a parts car. Do you have a Ford? Yeah, these are all Fords. Ford Starliners, 1960. There we are. The parts car, the party car. Get a decent haircut. Yeah, I cut my own hair. Sometimes it doesn't quite go proper because I can't see behind me when I'm cutting my hair. There, look at the front of this one. Yeah, that one's in need of help. That's the parts car. A lot of these are parts cars. Hey, sun's finally coming out. Out of all these, we're probably looking at max 3 of them might be savable, and that's at max because that takes a lot of work. And I've got a day job. Let's go look at, I'll show you the one that is running and driving. So you've seen 6 of them so far. I said there were 7. Those geese. What's the budget? Free. There is no budget. I don't have any money to work on these. Yeah, it's basically take parts from each other and every once in a while buy something as I can afford it, but for the most part, yeah, we don't have a budget for fixing these. With our own labor, and we do have quite a few parts. So other than just the stuff that was on the cars, we've got some parts set aside too. You need some parts, yeah. Unfortunately, right now, because these were an inheritance, we're not selling anything at this moment yet because they need to be part of the family, and I'm not allowed to try selling them for money at this point. Here's the working one. There it is. 1960 Ford Starliner. We call it Christine. It's black, black on black, black interior, black exterior. Move this camera a little bit so I can get you in the garage. Should I get one of my cats? Oh, I can't see. I can't see you guys. So if you get one of your cats, I'm not going to know. I'm not going to know if you're holding one of your cats. I've got a whole bunch of cats. They just keep multiplying too. We moved out here to the country and boom, cats. They keep showing up. Start it up. I think we can do that if there's a battery in it. I think there is. There we are. Let's go ahead and open the hood. All right, guys. Batmobile. It does. It does look like a Batmobile. Just look down the long end of it there. This thing's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and open up the hood. See if there's a battery in here. All right. Oh yeah, yeah. And it's connected too. I don't know if the battery's going to be dead or not. It's been at least a month. About a month ago we started this thing. Let me try and start it up here. Garage isn't big enough. I barely fit. Okay, I see a dome light. Means we got power. There we are. It started right up. Took a couple cranks, mostly because I wasn't doing the key all the way. This one's got a Y block, a 292 Y block. It is a V8. Unfortunately, we're kind of blocked in right now. We got a lawnmower with a flat tire in the way. Do I have a nose in that beard? Getting you to the back side of the car here. There we are. Yeah, I don't know about the beard thing. I've never really grown a beard. This is about the longest I've ever grown it. And I'll probably shave it tomorrow and then I'll grow it again in 2 weeks. Don't know. Usually I don't have a beard. Sit behind the wheel, please. Hey, yeah, we can do that. Tell you what though, oh, that sound, I love it. Even though it doesn't come through the microphone as good as it comes through when you are there. Absolutely. Let me just rev it a couple times here. Nothing too crazy because we warmed it up properly. it's a tight fit in here. There we are. Yeah, this car is big. It's a really big car. I didn't step on the brakes. No, I didn't step on the brakes. Yeah, we're not going to be able to take it for a drive tonight because we've got a lawnmower in the way with a flat tire. I need a crew. Yes, I do. All right, man, I should be in bed. It's 2:30 in the morning here in Germany. Don't regret still being on the phone. Yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching, Marvin and Leo. Yeah, and also we got 2 cars in the way. So that needs to back all the way out to where that white car is in order to get out, because it's at least 19 feet long. It's a really long car, 19 feet long, and it's got a extended bumper, a Continental kit. We'll keep that because that we inherited it like that. It's 1 o'clock in your country. All right, you guys are definitely ahead of me. It's maybe 8 o'clock here, somewhere around there. We'll definitely get this thing out on the road yet this fall, because once winter comes, we're not going to take it on the road. So we need a premier drive scheduled. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, because we want to get this on the road, because we want to get it running and driving. Otherwise things start seizing up and you don't find the problems if you never take it on the road. So we've had it on the road twice, only twice so far. And we're too hesitant to take it anywhere far because we've never done it. There we go, setting the tripod back up. So take it apple picking. Hey, I got apples over there. They're probably almost ready. Or you probably mean going to an orchard. Boys, do your thing in the comments. Appreciate you. Thanks for showing us all this. Yeah, no problem. So, yeah, we need to get that on the road. Definitely one of these times. And then we also got to get this other truck on the road here. 1972 F-250. There it is. We've had that on the road 3 times, I think. And the last time I was on the road, it was backfiring like crazy because it had a really souped up carburetor in there, a big Holly dumping like 750 CFM in. So we've since swapped it, and I think we have it so it's not backfiring, but we haven't been on the road since then. You from America? Yes, in Wisconsin, United States, America. Yep. All right, let me close these. Hide the Starliner. All right. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for joining. There's our golf cart. We gotta replace the rear sprocket on that because the teeth are worn down. Unfortunately, someone welded on the rear sprocket. So in order to replace it, we're gonna have to grind it. I have my hands full, absolutely. There's no end to the projects around here. We built the hoop shed. I wasn't planning on this project. Picked this up on Wednesday, trying to restore this. I don't have a dirt bike. I've never had a dirt bike. I'd probably fall off and break my leg. We do have 4-wheelers though. We have 2 4-wheelers, 3 4-wheelers. 2 of them run. 1 needs to be fixed. But yeah, right there, that one runs. We've got to fix the suspension though. That's an easy fix. I just haven't had time to do it. And then way back there, that one runs and drives. That's the one that I currently use. Unfortunately, the battery terminal broke off because the battery wasn't attached to the battery tray. And you know what? When you're going around fast and the battery's not secured, guess what happens? The battery falls off. And then with the cables attached to your battery terminal, boom, the battery terminal rips off the battery. Can I do a wheelie? Probably could, but I'd probably land on my head. Am I a doctor? No, no. I'm an engineer for a cable company. That's my day job. The fun stuff is when I get home and get to work on all these cool things. So yeah, one of the things I'm going to be working on this weekend is this old cement mixer. I keep forgetting what it's called. Concrete mixer, cement mixer. And I'm hoping I can find a date on this tag. It says Atlas Engineering Company, Milwaukee, shop number, and then that's covered in paint. It looks like there's space for something over here. And it's all reversed for you guys. You can't read it. 20 acres. 20 acres of land here. It's a giant concrete mixer here. I think it's from the 1920s through 1950s. Am I streaming tomorrow, please? Maybe. But tell you what, I've got a great stream that I'm going to do coming up. There we go. I have to keep lifting my tripod because I keep shrinking it down to show you things. Marvin, going to check in some other time. Need to get moving. Appreciate you showing us your stuff. Love America, land of the free. Thanks for watching, man. Check in when you want. I've got full videos too, so if you want to see this stuff that I'm showing you in a full video format, check out my channel. So, about the next video. I might do one tomorrow. It'll be a little weird one if I do, like making popcorn or something, just funny. It's getting dark there. Yep. But I'm going to be cutting out my living room window this weekend or early next week. Yeah. Going to check in right now real quick. Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. It's a 11 foot by 6 foot window. It's got to go. The window's got to go. You probably got to go too. Yeah, thanks for sticking around so long. And if you happen to see me on my future live streams, definitely come back. But I'm going to be doing a live stream as I cut out my giant living room window, 11 foot by 6 foot. Going to have a huge hole in my living room. And the new window is only 10 foot by 5.5 foot. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Why? Because the window's broken, rotting. It's got to go before winter, because a lot of the panes are only single panes. The double pane upper ones, they're just all rotted. And then kids broke some of the windows. Cats broke some of the windows. If I don't replace that window before winter, we're going to be putting up plywood. I don't want plywood in my front window. So I bought the new window. It's in my trailer, and I'm cutting it out this week, next week. Thinking Monday, probably Monday, early in the morning for me, starting, because I want to get that hole sealed up before night. All right. Thanks you guys for those of you who watched a long time. And those of you who weren't on the whole time, this was the theme of tonight's live stream. We had this ancient concrete mixer that I picked up from an auction on Wednesday. Super heavy duty. I'm trying to clean it up so I can paint it, and also trying to figure out how old it is. I mean, this thing is old. I mean, check out this handle. Check out the thickness of this gear here. I think, sorry, your cat. I think this thing is pushing 100 years old. Just think of all the hands that have grasped that handle in that time. Yeah, there's not too many people still alive from when this was made, if this really is that old. I think at the newest, it's 50s, 1950s. Hello from Brazil, Albert. Thanks for joining from Brazil. Awesome. I'm in Wisconsin, United States. So that box on the back, that's all metal. That's not wood. That's not cardboard. This thing's solid metal. It's pretty cool. Trying to figure out how old it is. Whoops. We got rivets. Everything's riveted. Well, those look like screws there. I mean, just look how old the hardware looks. The doors. Got that ancient motor. Actually, that's not the original motor. This probably used to have a hit and miss engine. But look at that wheel that is up in there. How much did it cost? Yep. That one, that little one. Sorry, getting my tripod stuck on weeds. That little one cost $25. I thought I had a great deal when I bought that little itty bitty one for $25. It is a good deal. I picked up this giant one, this huge one, for $15.04. And it came with a trailer. It was on a trailer. That's an excellent deal for a huge concrete mixer. And we didn't just want it because it's cool. We wanted it because we actually make concrete. Not for anything serious, but we have animals, lots of pets. We got a chicken coop. We got a sheep shed. And with the chicken coop, last fall, we poured a slab in the bottom of the chicken coop because rats were getting in. I thought when I built the chicken coop that I did a good enough job. I put heavy mesh underneath, like hardware cloth, steel mesh underneath, lined it with cement blocks. And you know what? The rats, they just dig right through it. They eat through the sides even too, but that's a different story. Can't stop that with cement. So last fall, we poured a slab inside of there using the little itty bitty concrete mixer. We did it in one day, but it was a full day. I mean, we started at like 7 a.m. and we finished at like 7 p.m. because such little buckets. I mean, not really little. I mean, I thought it was good. But you're limited to how much you can mix at a time. So now that we got the bigger one, this thing's at least twice as big, I'd say. So we did want a bigger concrete mixer. And when I saw one at an auction, I put in a bid and got it for $15.04. And it works. It's awesome. So we're going to put it to use, but we're also going to try and make it look cool too. But we're not going to do a super extensive restoration or anything because, for one, it's a concrete mixer and it's going to get dirty. It's going to sit outside. I'm not putting in my hoop shed I just built. There's more important things that are going in the hoop shed, like one of those 1960 Ford Starliners and more delicate stuff. This thing's already sat outside for 100 years, I don't know. So it can sit outside here, but I do want to get it so I grind the rust off and I can put a fresh coat of paint on it. Otherwise, that rust underneath is going to keep eating away. I don't know if this box is going to be able to be saved. I think it can be. I'll get a nice coat of nice coat of paint on the outside of it. That will slow it down. And at some point, if I really care about it, I'll have to cut the rotten metal off the bottom and weld in a replacement patch. And that's doable, but it takes time. Is it worth the time? Probably not. It's probably not worth the time. Unless I can find that it's like some really rare thing that's worth a ton of money, then it might be worth the time. But I think it's not going to be worth doing that effort. There's too many other things around here that do need the time put into them. Yeah. So I came out here tonight armed with sandpaper, wire brushes, And I was gonna try cleaning this and working on it, but I didn't get any of that done. I was too busy talking, but that's fine. It's good talking to you guys. One, yep, that is a steal. $15.04. That's that's super cheap, especially when you think about the commission that the seller had to pay. The seller had to pay a minimum of probably $25 to list this thing in the auction. So because it sold for less than his commission, he got no money from the sale of it. He had to pay $25 to the auction. And I got it for practically free. I mean, it's like a toy. $15.04. I mean, that's a meal at McDonald's. It's a burger at Burger King. And yet, boom, I got this. Yeah. So that's the risk with auctions. If you sell something, it might not sell for anything and you're paying to get rid of it. I bought it for super cheap, but I didn't know it was going to work. I had to worry about if I'd even get it home. You're just looking at pictures. I wasn't at the auction. I bid on it online. So I'm trying to scrutinize the pictures to see, do those tires look good? Are they going to make it home? Is it attached good? Is it going to fall off before I get home? I mean, these doors, thankfully, I put a ratchet strap around it because when we got home, we just loosened the ratchet strap and the doors popped open. And that giant motor in the back, that 80-pound, 1 horsepower motor, it had been bouncing around. If I didn't strap those doors shut, they would have popped open on the highway and boom, there goes that 80-pound motor rolling down the highway. That thing. So you gotta think about safety. And I had to go on. I didn't go on the big highway. I wasn't going 70 or anything, but there was about 10 miles where I was on a decent county highway. And as soon as I got past that stretch, I got onto side roads and took as many side roads as I could, just because you never know. It did great though. There's no problem towing this home, other than that door wanted to open. So let me plug this thing in one more time. Some of you guys might not have been here when I plugged it in. So let's go ahead and do that again so you can see it run. There's so many weeds on the ground. I can't set my tripod down without it tipping from the weeds here. There, don't fall. Okay. It's getting cold out tonight. So just wanted to show you how cool those old doors look. Excuse me. I was going to tell you, it's getting cold. Just north of here, northern Wisconsin, they've got frost advisories for tonight. That's horrible. Summer's done. I mean, it's probably like 55 out here right now. I wish it was summer year round. I like it hot. 55, that's too cold. All right, I got an extension cord. We got a really old cord. Here we go. There it is. Have to go. Wish you good. Wish you luck. Gonna try and get ultimate parts in NFS heat. All right. Thank you, Kay Lane. Hope to see you again some night. Thanks for sticking around. For the rest of you guys, there's the $15 4-cent concrete mixer on a trailer. Need for speed. Have fun. All right, let's unplug this thing. Don't fall. There it goes. Nitro fun. Yeah. Hello, Tanner. Here we are. We just ran our $15 and 4-cent concrete mixer. Looking forward to making concrete with this. This will be a lot easier to do than using that little one over there. Making Bitcoin and garden. Great job, bro. All right. It's on we. All right. So there we are. You guys got to see the cool new toy I picked up. So some of you might buy a $15 toy for your kids, like a Lego or something. I bought a $15 super giant ancient concrete mixer that we'll be able to use. And it should last for years and years and years and years, because I think this thing is pushing 100 years old already. I don't know though. So I'm going to scrape this some more. It's got a brass tag riveted on. I don't think there's going to be a date. I'm not going to be that lucky, but hopefully there's a date on it. How long you been streaming for today? 1 hour, 22 minutes. So thank you for watching for 1 hour, 22 minutes. Cloud making, mashing. Maybe making some clouds out here. And you know what though? It is getting dark out here. It's getting cold out here. I got a little dirty touching that concrete mixer. In the next 10 years, we will not need concrete anymore. Well, I'm still going to need concrete for my chicken coop, for my sheep shed, for the hoop shed, for the garage that the Starliner's in that has just gravel. So hopefully I'll be around in 10 years needing concrete. Yes. All right. Thank you guys for watching. It's Friday night here in the United States. It's Labor Day weekend for those of you watching from the United States. So you have a good holiday if you've got Monday off. I've got all of next week off because I'm cutting a giant hole in my living room, replacing my big living room window. Yeah. You guys have a good night. Thanks for watching.